Hey guys, what's going on? This is Matt Winning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to talk about how to build beefy traps. Now, there's a lot of different ways that we can do this, but I want to show you guys exercises that make the traps grow, in my opinion, a little better and a little safer. Now, nothing really compares to any other muscle group aesthetically as having big traps, but traps also have more of an importance than just looking jacked at the mall. One of the big reasons that you want large and strong traps is because it protects the shoulder and it makes your posture better if done correctly. And so we're going to get to some exercises, but before we do that, please like, subscribe, and share some of your favorite exercises that's helped you build bigger traps in the gym. So the first exercise is just your normal dumbbell shrug. But where I see a lot of people mess this shrug up is they use more arms than they use actual traps. So if we look to the side, when I go to pull this, this is a good way to do it. And then this would be a poor way to do it. You can see my arm actually bending, and I'm using forearm muscles and upper arm muscles instead of the actual trap. They're both effective for the trap, but we really want to focus on the trap itself. So what I like to do is flex my triceps while I'm doing my shrugs, and that keeps me from being able to bend my arm, making the shrug far more effective and build more muscle. So we just did a shrug standing with a very good posture. Now this one, what we want to do is build the lower trap and give ourselves a base for the trap to grow from. And the way to do that is to do a slight lean. So what I'll do is I'll lean in here, and then I'll shrug a little bit more backwards than up. This is building the lower part of the trap, and what I consider the more functional part of the trap, especially if you're trying to increase your deadlift or you're trying to keep your shoulder blades locked while you bench press. So leaning over a little bit and hitting a slightly different angle to the trap or the traditional shrug is ultra and crucial if you're looking for it to transfer over to other stuff. So think about it, when you're in a deadlift, you're here, right? When you're in a squat, you're here. So being completely upright may not allow the trap to actually have real function in barbell deadlifts or barbell squats. So doing a leaned over shrug, I find if you're using it for performance, is probably a better option and one you definitely want to put in your programs. Hey guys, this is Matt Winning at winningstrength.com, and this video is brought to you guys by ATP Labs. Now, the first supplement that I utilized from ATP Labs somewhere around 10 years ago was Center Mag. Center Mag was introduced to me by my good friend and mentor, Charles Poliquin, to increase my sleep and help my recovery. And boy, did it. Now, if you go look at the research, you'll see that a lot of you guys are deficient in magnesium, which causes sleep issues, insulin issues. It has about 300 different functions in the body. The highest quality magnesium that I have ever taken in my life is from ATP Labs, and that's Center Mag. So back to the video, and if you have any of these issues, please contact us at winningstrength.com. Come in and get a bioprint. We can tell you what your deficiency is, or you can go on ATP Labs and order it yourself. So this is a little bit more of an uncommon exercise, but I like using it because band tension, in my opinion, is a really good alternative to utilizing dumbbells or barbells or even kettlebells. So what we'll do is we'll set this down, stand on both sides, make it pretty even, stand straight up, and now I'm gonna shrug with band tension. Now, band tension gets harder at the top and a little easier at the bottom. This is an unfamiliar environment to a lot of the muscle tissue. So if you're trying to grow the traps up taller, I think this may be a helpful way to do so. Obviously, different strength levels are gonna require different bands. I think that the orange band from Elite FTS is probably about the right tension for around 12 to 15 reps, which is usually very conducive for high volume hypertrophy. So if we're talking about growing traps, I would say 12 to 15 rep range is probably your best bet. Now remember too that you can gain from all different types of rep ranges. So I wouldn't negate utilizing things in around 20 or things below 6, but I say on average you need to be between 12 and 15. The next exercise is the behind the back shrug, and I like to use the bamboo bar with hanging kettlebells. It creates a different type of resistance. It's got a little bit more oscillation and bouncing, which again makes the muscle tissue have to work in an environment it's not necessarily used to. So pick this up, lean over just a tick, and then shrug it. Now because the weight is behind me instead of in front of me, for some people, this makes the trap have to work a little bit harder. Depending on your glute size might make it more difficult to get around that area or your arm length. So for me, we do behind the back shrugs occasionally, but not very often. But you need to try them and see if they make you feel better, because out of all the exercises I've already shown you, I just did maybe 5 reps of this. My traps can feel it immensely because it's not used to the exercise. So make sure you have a large library of exercises to use in your particular muscle building skill for a handful of reasons. 1, you're gonna grow faster. 2, you're probably gonna reduce the amount of injuries you're gonna have long-term in training because you're not overusing the exact same angle all the time. That's another huge issue of why I would say doing something like this behind the back can be beneficial for you. One of the other exercises that I think is really good for building the traps that you don't see a lot actually isolated for traps is a snatch grip high pull. Now you can do this a couple of different ways, but if we're doing it for hypertrophy, and let's stick to that for this video, I'll show you how I would do it. So I'm gonna grab out pretty damn wide. I'm gonna lift it slow till about right here, and then I'm gonna snap it with my traps and my hips. Down to here. Now this is a little bit more dynamic than the other lifts, so it's gonna have a little bit more of a power, but you can get some trap built from this. And I think what we see trap building in, especially in CrossFit, a lot of the females that do a lot of these types of lifts, they have really built traps. Now females don't necessarily always get big traps just from normal lifting weights. Olympic lifting can be really good for it, especially in this variation. You can do all kinds of different high pulls, but if you're trying to do it for hypertrophy, you might want to hold it and control it a little bit more on the way down. Don't just let the weight fall. And some gyms won't let you do that anyway. So make sure you're using high pulls for traps too, and get in that big snap for those faster twitch fibers in your traps. So this video, we went over some key tips on how to build bigger traps. I've had some pretty big traps in my day, weighing 305 pounds and being able to deadlift over 800 and squat in the 1100s for many years. But I think these exercises, if I were to isolate for aesthetics, I would choose them most of the time. Now these aren't the only exercises, so if you want to come on to Patreon or Train Heroic and see some of the other shrugging movements that we do, please join us on one of the teams and we'll be able to help you out tremendously. We hope to see you at winningstrength.com. We hope this video helped out your training. Contact us if you need more help. Talk to you guys soon.